Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon here with your WWE Hell in a Cell review on Sunday, June 20th, 2021. Pretty disappointing, not on a wrestling standpoint, but for the Sixers. I'm a Sixers fan, and tonight we just lost in Game 7 of the semifinals against the Atlanta Hawks. I was very, very, very disappointed by that, and we did not get the Game 7 win, but I was very sad about that, but I just had to mention that because it's really on my mind right now. But we had the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view tonight, which will mostly be, it's what this whole video is about, this review. Hell in a Cell, really no care about it going into the show. Not really a match that I'm like deeply invested into seeing, but it was an acceptable show. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't really that good as well. For me, it wasn't really that good. It wasn't bad as well. It was, I would say, an average pay-per-view. We had two really good matches to open up the show. Which we will talk about. We opened up with Seth Rollins, We opened up with Bayley and Bianca Belair inside the Hell in a Cell, and then we had Seth Rollins and Cesaro right after that. So those two matches were really good, and it went right downhill from there with the other matches up until the main event. So I thought this was an average pay-per-view tonight. Not bad, but also not really good as well. So we'll talk about it. We probably won't be here for like only 20 to 25 minutes. So I thank you guys for joining me here tonight. Another quick thing is I hope everybody out there had a great Father's Day. If you're watching this, happy Father's Day to all the great fathers out there, my dad especially. So happy Father's Day to all the dads that are watching this, and I hope you guys all enjoyed your day. So let's dive into this pay-per-view. Obviously, we're not going to talk about the pre-show match because the pre-show match was very, very worthless, to say the least. But for the main show, like I said, we opened up with Bayley versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And in my opinion, man, this was probably the best match of the entire night. After this match was over, you had that feeling like, man, you know, it's going to be very, very tough to see who can top this match. This match was really good. It was a really good Hell in a Cell match. I wouldn't say it was better than the Hell in a Cell match back in 2020 between Sasha and Bayley when Sasha won the SmackDown title. But I thought this was a really good Hell in a Cell match. They used Bianca's hair a lot in this. They tied her hair up to the rope. She even tied her own hair to Bayley. They used kendo sticks, chairs. I don't think they used the table. But the ending was when they had a ladder in there, and Bianca was going to do a set time when Bayley was on the ladder, and Bayley moved, went to hit Bianca with the ladder. Then Bianca actually hit her, and she set up what was the I'm sorry, I hate yawning on the camera, man. I'm just trying to not yawn here. Very tired, but she hit the Kiss of Death. She hit the KOD onto the ladder, and that was the finish. That was a great finish. It looked really good as well. Bianca Belair retained the SmackDown Women's Championship probably, I think this is only her second or third defense, something like that. Maybe her second. But so far, this was her best defense so far in both matches with Bayley. The one at WrestleMania Backlash was good, but I didn't really like the finish to that match. But this match, this was really good. A hot opener. And like I said, man, after this match was over, you had that feeling like, you know, it's going to be very hard to see who can possibly, you know, top that match. So I thought this was a really good match, and kudos to Bianca and Bayley for the match they gave us tonight. We then had Seth Rollins and Cesaro right after this. Again, another really good match. It was slow in the beginning, yes, but it picked up. It got really, really enjoyable. And this was a fun match to watch. This match was really fun to watch. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed a lot of it. And I tweeted out, I think, that I was picking Cesaro to win. But again, another aspect was with the two matches that were added Friday. Both of them were 50-50 booked matches. So we had Cesaro, who won at WrestleMania, and Rollins got his win back tonight, which, I mean, I'm not a fan of 50-50 booking at all. Again, man, I can't help it, man. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I can't help the yawning, but Rollins won this match, which I'm not mad about at all. Rollins needs a big win. He got the win on pay-per-view against Cesaro. He couldn't just be losing and losing and losing. You can't do that. Rollins needed a win, and I feel like they protected Cesaro somewhat because Rollins beat him by any means necessary, cheap win with a roll-up. And, you know, I liked that they went with that route. And Rollins, he did get the win, but I feel like at the end of the day, Cesaro was also protected as well. And maybe they still want to push Cesaro, which you got no problem with that for me. So Rollins wins against Cesaro, and I don't know if it's an early prediction for the next pay-per-view, which is Money in the Bank. Fans are going to be at that show, thank God. Full capacity, I think. And, you know, I would not be mad at all if Cesaro was to win this year's Money in the Bank. I actually think he'd be a good candidate to win the Money in the Bank this year, I think. So, we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's early. We don't know who's even in the match yet. So, but I would like to see it be Cesaro. I would not be mad if Cesaro won Money in the Bank this year. Then we had Shayna Baszler versus Alexa Bliss. And this was when the show started to go downhill. The only positive thing that I can say about all of this is that Shayna Baszler and Alexa Bliss was not the worst match of the night like I thought it would be. We will get to what it was later on in a couple minutes, but this was really bad. This was just bad. First off, Shayna Baszler in the ring having to sell for 5 feet of fury Alexa Bliss. It's just, in all due respect, it's not really realistic because she's a small woman and Shayna Baszler is an MMA fighter. And in real life, that's not going to happen. So I just did not like that aspect as much with Baszler having to sell for little Alexa Bliss, but Bliss uses her magic powers like we thought, and she looked right at Nia Jax, and Jax stared back, and they were like lifting her up her hand, and Jax was doing the same thing, and then Jax slapped Reginald in the face, and then they were screaming at each other. It was super cringe. That part was cringe. Really cringe. And then Shayna Baszler put Alexa Bliss in the Carefree clutch. She got out of it. She had the twist at the her DDT into the Twisted Bliss. And Alexa Bliss got the win over Shayna Baszler, which comes to no surprise. Just a bad match, man. And I feel bad out of everybody in all this. He's not even in this. And I feel bad for Bray Wyatt because he took his creativity and tried to make this Fiend character so good. And at the beginning, it was amazing. And WWE just they ruined it. Like they do everything. They ruined the Fiend's character. They gave it to Alexa Bliss, and I am going to give credit to Alexa Bliss. She is trying everything in her power to make this gimmick work, make it good, so I respect her for that, but this is just not good. It's not good, and I'm telling y'all right now, this shit with Alexa Bliss and the playground and the mind games and the fire and the voodoo, it's not going to work in front of a live audience. I'm telling you right now. All of this is not going to work, and I don't think the live audience is going to take this positively. It's going to be a very negative effect, I think. So, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. I did not care about this match. I just can't believe they made me not care about a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn match. But these guys have been in the ring together too many times to the fact, like how can I care, you know? It's just very ridiculous. But this match was decent for what it was. It wasn't bad at all. Sami Zayn got his win back over Kevin Owens. The story was decent. I don't know if Kevin Owens was legit injured. When Sami Zayn, he went to do a dive over the top rope. He landed, it looked like he landed onto Owens' wrist, but Owens was selling it. He is either really legit injured and he was in pain throughout the match with his wrist, or he took that part of the match, he sold for the wrist, and, you know, he is a damn good seller. If that is the case, man, Kevin Owens played this phenomenally, because I really thought that he was injured. And if he wasn't, then, you know, man, he's a damn good seller. Kevin Owens is a damn good seller if he's not injured, man. My goodness. That was shocking. So, he lost. Sami Zayn won clean with the haluva kick. And that was it. That was it. So, they 50-50 booked Rollins and Cesaro. And they 50-50 booked Owens and Zayn. So, that's that. And then this was by far the worst thing on the show tonight. By far, not even close. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte. Number one. This is when I really started to get into the Sixers game. It was going down the wire. And this match was on, and I was like, oh, perfect timing. Perfect friggin' timing. And this match, man, there's just no reason to care. There's just no reason to care. The story sucks. The feud sucks. Everything about it just sucks. Rhea Ripley, I don't even know when to cheer or boo her. The finish was so ridiculous, and the ending was so ridiculous. So let me tell you guys what happened. So, outside the ring, Charlotte and Rhea were brawling. They were brawling outside of the ring, and Rhea goes to hit Charlotte with the heading of the announce table with the logo Hell in a Cell on it. She hits Charlotte with it, and the referee calls it DQ. So, what's the difference with the logo on the table and you're slamming her into it to when you pick it up and it's the same object? How's that make sense? And number two, are we really continuing this awful storyline into the next pay-per-view? How many times do we gotta see Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and a dose of Asuka in the same match together? It's over repetitive to the point where I want to roll my eyes at the back of my head. It's just very ridiculous, man. Very ridiculous every single week. And then the babyface, get this straight, folks. The babyface gets DQ'd. The babyface attacks. So they're brawling and they continue to attack. The babyface attacks the heel, and the babyface is celebrating a DQ win. Isn't a babyface supposed to want to win fair and square? Clean? That didn't happen. I guess Rhea Ripley's satisfied with a DQ win. Yeah, she's still the champion, but very, very, very stupid. Definitely the worst match of the night, in my opinion. But then the main event, we got to the main event. It was Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley inside the Hell in a Cell. Last chance for Drew McIntyre to challenge for the WWE Championship. This match was very good, man. I have both the Cell matches tonight. I'd probably take the women's match over this, but this was a really good match. This was hard hitting. This was physical. They had kendo sticks, chairs, a bunch of tables. But the one thing that it didn't ruin this match. It's just the finish really took it down a notch a little bit. I did not like the finish of this match at all. I didn't really like the way it was booked, with MVP coming in, and Drew McIntyre just beat up MVP while he's focusing more on beating up MVP than he is his opponent. Like, come on, man. And MVP gets into the cell. He's accidentally locked himself in. He gets attacked by Drew. Another referee comes. Before that, a referee came down because the first official was knocked down. Drew McIntyre had a Claymore kick, and the referee got dragged out. And then Lashley. This was the best spot, I think. Lashley was putting Drew McIntyre into the hurt lock, and both of them just went backwards, setting Bobby Lashley through the announce table. That was great. And then the Uranaki Bobby Lashley gave to McIntyre through the table On the outside, that was nice as well, man. That was very nice. Drew McIntyre's back was all scratched up and red. And then at the end, Drew McIntyre hits a future shot DDT. He's going for the Claymore kick. It looks like he's going to win. But MVP grabs his foot. Bobby Lashley rolls him up. And Bobby Lashley wins by a roll-up inside Hell in a Cell. Did I like this match? I thought the match was very good. I liked the hard-hitting aspect of this match. But I thought it was overbooked. I thought WWE overbooked this. They didn't need to do the ref bump. They didn't need MVP inside the cage. They didn't need MVP helping Bobby Lashley retain the WWE title. They didn't need that. You want to make Bobby Lashley look strong? You want to make Bobby Lashley look like the dominant monster? He should have beaten Drew McIntyre clean, in my opinion. And Drew McIntyre would have lost absolutely nothing from this because it's his last shot. And a finish like this makes it look like the feud's going to continue. Now, WWE, are they going to have this situation where if Drew loses, he can't challenge for the title, then Drew makes a case to get another title shot? I don't know. I hope not. But going into it, I had a really weird feeling that Drew McIntyre was going to win the WWE Championship again. Because I thought something big was going to happen with this main eventing. People were bringing up Brock Lesnar on Twitter all day. That was stupid. Like, that's obviously not going to happen because Brock Lesnar's not showing up on the Thunderdome in front of virtual fans. That's not happening. Brock Lesnar, the next time you will see Brock Lesnar will be in a full capacity arena, whether that's on Monday Night Raw or Money in the Bank. I don't know. But Brock Lesnar was not going to show up in the Thunderdome. It was just not going to happen, man. So that was Hell in a Cell. Bobby Lashley, they go off the air with Bobby Lashley holding up the WWE Championship and Drew McIntyre looking very, very sad. So that's the Hell in a Cell review, guys. At the end of the night, wasn't a bad show. Wasn't great as well. I'd say it was an okay pay-per-view. For what it was, I thought it was okay. My favorite match of the night, probably give it to the women that kicked off the show inside Hell in a Cell. So, thank you guys for tuning in to the review tonight. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. I will be posting the schedule to this week's content later on tomorrow, on Monday. So be sure to look out for that. Comment down below your thoughts about tonight's pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. Let me know what you think of the pay-per-view in the comments below. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me in tonight's review. And go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well at Colin_Joseph. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow night for the Raw review, the fallout of tonight's Hell in a Cell. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy.